Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. I'm Yumesh Gupta. Today we are going to talk about polyfills. Basically, this video is part of a larger series of videos where we are going to talk about different polyfills and we'll see how things work under the hood. Polyfills like reduce, bind, implementing library functions, concepts like debounce, throttle, and advanced polyfills like promises. Now you must be wondering why polyfills? Why reduce specifically? So polyfills, first of all, those of you don't know, polyfill is basically in very layman terms, it's a simple code snippet which helps you in using modern features in older browsers. Let's say you want to use promises in an older browser which is not natively supported. Promise polyfill is that backup code which allows you to use that feature in that browser to enhance the user experience. Why reduce? Basically, reduce is a very common utility in the front end universe, and it is a very important interview question when you go for SD2 or above. Polyfills, reduce polyfills, bind is a very common occurrence. The idea here is not that you should know how to write each and every polyfill and you will be writing polyfills in your day job. The idea here is that knowing how these things work under the hood, the bare bones, give you a deeper understanding and how you perceive problems, how you architect your solutions, how you think about edge cases and error conditions. Now let's look at reduce. First of all, the polyfill we are going to write will not be 100% spec compliant, but it will cover all the broad strokes. We will look at error conditions, we will look at the core functionality, but not like 100% at point with the specification, but it would be a completely valid solution. Everything will work and it will stand its ground in an interview. So array.prototype.reduce. This definition is straight out of MDN, where it says that reduce methods takes a reducer function which is invoked on every element of the array and it returns a single output. So in the very layman terms, let's say array.reduce, we like mentioned in this example, it takes a reducer function and an initial value. Reducer function is called on every element that it will be invoked using 1, 2, and 3. And the reducer function gets 4 parameters: accumulator, current value, current index, ARR. So let's look at some code examples to understand this better. So let's say we have an array like we saw 1, 2, and 3. Now we want to compute the sum of it. So we create a sum function which, as we have seen before, takes an accumulator, value, index, and the array itself. So we want to get sum, so accumulator plus value, and let's console log what is the value of accumulator, value, index, and array. We have this function. Now array.reduce, we pass sum, and as we have seen before that it takes initial value, so we are passing the initial value. So sum function will be invoked on every element of this 1, 2, and 3, and the we are passing the initial value which will be assigned to accumulator. So output should be 7. We have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1, so 7, and we have the output 7. Now let's dry run it. If you can see here that our accumulator gets the value 1, which was the initial value provided by us. The current value is 1, that means the first element of the array. 0 is the for index, and this array is the complete array. So we get 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, next time accumulator is 2, then 2 plus 2 is 4, next time accumulator is 4, and 4 plus current value is 3, 4 plus 3 is 7, and that is the output. And if we don't pass any initial value, then the output is 6, because in such cases the accumulator, which we have seen here, this accumulator gets the first element of the array, and the current value gets the second element. That means array will go from first element till the length of the array. So 1 plus 2 is 3 and 3 plus 3 is 6. So that's the output. So this is the core functionality. There are a lot of edge cases like if you pass reduce without any callback, then it is an error. If you let's say if you call it on an empty array and you pass the function but with no initial value, then it would be an array error. And if you pass it with an initial value on an empty, you call the reduce on an empty array with initial value, then that initial value is the output. So this is the basic crux of it. Later in the video we will see how we are going to implement this and how we'll handle these different cases. So let's move on to that. So let's take a look at the code implementation now. The approach we are going to follow here is test-based approach, where we have test cases which are going to fail as of now. But as we start exploring them and fixing them, we'll see how each test case corresponds to a different part in our code snippet. And by the end of it, we'll have a working solution and we'll understand how things work under the hood. So without further ado, let's look at our test cases now. To make things better and to make it more clear, I've divided test cases into two parts. The first one is error condition and the second one is reduce functionality. So now let's look at the first test case. It says check if this exists, reduce is not called on null or undefined. So basically, since we are putting it on arrays prototype, so if reduce is whenever invoked, then this in that function should not be null or undefined. And if this is null or this is undefined, then we have to throw a new type error, which is going to say array dot prototype dot reduce called on null or undefined. Let's run this test case and we'll see. And our test case passes. Okay, so far so good. Let's move on to the next test case. It says check if callback is a function. So as discussed earlier, that reduce take two functions. One is the callback and second one is the initial value. So like reduce takes a callback and the initial value. This test case says that this parameter callback should exist and it should be type of function. If it is not, then we have to throw an error. So let's say, how can we do this? So if we don't have the callback, this is the existence check, and if type of callback is not equal to function, then we'll throw a new error, new type error to be exact, which is we are going to say whichever value we got in the callback is not a function. Let's run this test case and our second test case passes. Now if let's move on to the third and final error condition test case. If I run it as of now, so this is going to fail, and it does. Let's see how can we fix this. So it says that reduce an empty array with no initial value. So basically this is the condition where we have, let's say an array A, and we do a dot reduce and we pass a callback. Let's say that callback is sum. So this sum is defined here. Basically it's in a function which is doing a summation on, you can say, array of integers, where s is accumulator and v would be the current value, and we don't pass any initial value. So this is wrong. In this case there should be a type error. So let's see how can we do that. First of all, we have to check that we are invoking it on empty array and there is no initial value. We are capturing this initial value variable here on line number 3. Let's see how can we check. So this refers to the array on which it is invoked. If we check the length property, that length property is a falsy value, that means length is 0, and we have to check that there is no initial value. So if arguments dot length is less than 2, that means we don't have the initial value, then we'll throw a new type error saying the reduce of empty array with no initial value. And if we run this function now, run our test cases, and our test cases passes. So this concludes our test cases for error conditions, where we saw 3 conditions. The first one is that this should not be null and undefined. If it is, then we'll throw an error. Second one was that callback should be a function. If it is not, then we'll throw an error. And the third one was that reduce should not be called in an empty array with no initial value. If it is called in an empty array with no initial value, then we will throw an error, and we are doing that. So far so good, everyone. I hope you're with me so far. Let's move on to the next reduce functionality. Okay, so the first test case here says invoked on empty array with initial value returns initial value. So what does that mean? This is similar to the last error condition we saw, where we were saying that reduce is called on an empty array. Okay, so here also we are invoking it on an empty array. That means we have a, let's say we have a array A, and we call a dot reduce, and we pass sum as the callback, and initial value is 5. Then it means that it should return 5. As simple as that. That if the array is empty, then initial value is the final answer. So in this line number 16, we know that this dot length tells us that negation of this tells us that array is empty. So in this case, we can do else if arguments dot length is equal to 2, then return initial value. And if we run this, so our test case passes. So far so good. Let's move on to next case then. Invoked with initial value. So now we are at the crux of reduce, the core functionality. Invoked with initial value. So as we know that reduce takes a callback and the initial value, and it is invoked on every element of the array 1, 2 and 3. So basically our callback is sum, so we are going to do a summation of this array plus the initial value. So 1 plus 2 plus 3, which would be 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So let's see how can we do this. So let k equal to 0. Okay. Since we are doing a polyfill, let's not use ES6. Where k equal to 0, where this 0 represents the first index of the array, and we have a variable ACC, which is accumulator. Basically this would be the final value of the reduce. But it iterates over entire array, uses the initial value, and then whatever is the final output, that will be stored in this and will return this variable. Okay, so now what we have to do, that we have to iterate from 0 till the end of the array. That means reduce function iterates over the array from 0 till, let's say our array is ar dot length. Now let me explain the basic crux of it. In reduce, there are 2 conditions. One is with initial value and another one is without initial value. Okay, so in the case of initial value, our callback, which would be the sum function here, usually what happens is our callback takes 4 parameters. One is the first one would be I'm forgetting the first one. First one would be the accumulator, sorry. The second one would be the current value, which is the current value of the array. next one would be the current index, and the last one would be the array itself, which would be ARR in this case. This is true irrespective of both cases. Like whenever reduce is invoked on every element, then the callback gets these 4 values. Okay. Now in the case when we have the initial value, this accumulator is seeded with this initial value for the very first iteration, and the current value gets ARR 0. That means our loop will go from 0 till ARR dot length. Okay. So if we implement this is the case which we have now. So we have a while loop which k's initial value is 0 till length less than this dot length will do k plus plus. Okay. Now we also saw that the callback gets these 4 parameters. So we are capturing the callback parameter here. It gets the accumulator, current value it gets by this of k, the current index would be k, and array would be this. So if I now run this function, this test cases, okay, so this fails. Let's see, invoked with value, it gets undefined. Okay, now let's see why it's failing, because we are calling but we are not capturing this. Accumulator should be the accumulator, that's the name applies, it accumulates, it gets over, overwritten. So now if we call now, and okay, we are again failing. This is nan. Let's see why it's happening. So okay, again the same problem. Why it's happening? Because, can you guess it? Because like we mentioned that accumulator gets the initial value, but we are not seeding it. We are not seeding the initial value. And if we do now and we run it, and the test case passes. Okay. One more thing, that this is a more of a good to know, like that every high order function, be it reduce, map, for each, all these functions, iterate over the direct enumerable properties of the calling object, in this case array. So if you have an array ARR with 1, 2 and 3 as the elements, arrays are basically objects. So at the 0th index key we have 1, at 1 key we have 2, and at 2 we have 3. So whenever reduce iterates over them, then it can only iterate over 0, 1, 2. If you have anything on the prototype chain dot custom, let's say 4, it will not include this on the prototype chain nodes. So we have to add that check. And how can we do that? If we will simply check the prototype chain has own property dot call. We have to check on this array, and how can we access this array? With this, and we have to check the current index, the current property we are talking about, and that is we get from k. So if this is a truthy value, then we'll call it, and this functionally won't make any difference here as of now, because all these all the values of the loop will exist. So functionality doesn't make change, but this is an important check. Let's see what is the next case now. Next says invoked without initial value. So we spoke about with initial value, where accumulator gets the initial value, current value gets ARR 0 as in the first index of the element, and the loop goes from 0 till length of the array. But in this case we don't have the initial value, the case we didn't discuss so far. In such cases what happens is that accumulator takes ARR 0 as in the first element of the array, and the current value takes ARR 1. That means now our loop will go to till from 1 to ARR.length, from 1 till length of the array. And how can we do this? So initially our k was 0. So if we don't have initial value, that means argument.length is less than 2, our accumulator would have the ARR 0. So that can be accessed by this of 0, which would be this of 0, which will lead to 1 as in this value. But we have to update the k also, because now our loop will go from 1 to length of the array. In this case, we will just do kr plus plus. And now if we run this, and we'll see our test case passes. So far so good. So this next test case doesn't really lead to any sort of addition in the functionality. Basically, this is what it does is that it is a sort of an interview question, you can say. Basically, the problem statement here is that if you have an array of promises where you don't know what is the length of the array, it can have 4 promises, 5 promises, 10 promises, where each promise depends upon its preceding promise, the value of its preceding promise, and you have to promises in sync basically, and you have to iterate over them, compute the value, and the final answer should be a promise which resolves to something. So in this case, we have first, second, third, and fourth, where first resolves 1, which is captured by second. It adds on 2, so 1 plus 2 is 3. We get 3 here. 3 plus 3, 6. We go to 4. 6 plus 4 is 10, and that is resolved. So our answer should return a promise which resolves to 10. And if you run this test as of now, our promise already our polyfill already take care of this. But this is using reduce as of now, the actual reduce. So we replace it with our custom reduce. With the reduce, we got the answer right. Now let's see, does our polyfill also gives us the right answer? Yes, it does. So basically, this doesn't add any functionality as such, but it is a question which you might get asked in interviews. So guys, we saw all the cases. This is our polyfill. If I remove this is our working solution. We saw the error conditions where this should exist, it should not be null or undefined. If it is, then it will throw an error. Callback should be there, it should be a function. If not, then throw an error. If invoked on empty array with no initial value, then we'll throw an error. And if we have an initial value, then we'll return the initial value. And this is the core functionality from 24 to 38, that the callback is iterate on every element of the array, and we are passing the parameters and storing them in this variable and returning this variable. So I hope this helps somebody out there. If you feel that I missed out something or there is some problem and you would like to add, then you're more than welcome. Please do mention in the comments. All the resources related to the promises, all the resources related to the reduced polyfill will be mentioned in the description. And this is part of a larger series of polyfills, where we will talk about different polyfills like bind or library functions or promise, and those will be out soon. So thank you so much. Have a nice day.